Let me get the cam ready here. All right. Welcome to the vlog part 2. Road to 100K payouts. Nothing's changed, you know. Nothing's changed. Nothing changes. Nothing changes. Still studying. All right, so I cleaned my room earlier. One thing that I have been doing this week was, again, watching the videos, watching the playlist, studying. That's all I've been doing. But my Wi-Fi is currently down, so journaling. So those are the two crucial things we have to do, the 2 habits that we have to instill for 2026 to continue going and continue reflecting and growing in the state of mind that we're currently in, to elevate. All right, so I was just having a talk with my sister here. I was telling her I'm an old man. But she doesn't think I'm old. But I see myself like, I feel like the older I get, the more mature I'm becoming, you know, like in terms of like mindset, you know, in terms of mindset on the day-to-day process of like, what am I doing? What am I putting my energy and my time into, you know, like, and it's a process. It's a process that takes time, and it's one that's a very slow, patient cook that takes time, you know. Dog here though. She's so beautiful, look at that. Anybody, even if it's just for her, I'm always gonna try to become better no matter what. Try to live a better life, do better things. But I wanted to have this talk about how last week I got punished for not following my rules, you know, and that's one of the hardest conversations to have with somebody is whenever you're not following your rules, bro. You get punished. The market will punish you. The market will punish you if you're not following your rules, if you're not being disciplined, if you're not being consistent. One, I'm not being consistent, or my strategy doesn't work. You know, you have to start having those doubts. You start having those negative thoughts about my strategy doesn't work. But in reality, it's not that. It's you, the person using it. You know, after consuming so much content and doing this and that and reflecting upon it, I realized, you know, like, we can always be consuming content. We can always be trying to learn more and have a better understanding of the concepts we're using. But the application of it is, again, your state of mind, how you're using it. How, if you take a loss one day, you read the market wrong, you took a trade and you lost, and you're unable to walk away and you do more damage. Say you were down 1% off of the first trade and then broke your rules of 1 trade a day. You took another trade and you lost again. You know, revenge trading, that isn't the system at all. That's you. And the first trade, again, was you. The whole time it was you making the mistakes of reading the market wrong, being impatient, and then eventually letting your emotions get the best of you to then eventually make worse decisions, dig the hole deeper. And one of the issues that I've always dealt with was, once I lose, I always have that, you know, that trade in the back of my mind, you know, for the next trade. When I'm about to take a next trade, I'm always thinking like, oh, I lost last time. Maybe I might lose this again, you know, I might lose, you know. And that's one of the issues I've always had with my mindset is like, if I lose, like, it's just bad. It's bad for my mental. I always think that, oh, the next trader might be a loser also, you know. But I always try to be more positive. And again, it's only been like 3 months using this system. I started in November, December, January. It's only 3 months, and I found the most amount of success using this system. And I just continue to doubt myself, which is completely normal. Alright, so today's date is Monday. Been looking at the chart since 8:30. Not really nothing forming is like genuinely good to take right now. Again, just being patient, waiting. I might go to the gym today. Right now, get my little gym session in. If we don't see anything form by like 11, 10:30, around there. Today, I'm originally more bullish, looking for longs, but the market just, as soon as open hit, it just went higher. Didn't give me anything I could really trade with. So again, if the market isn't offering anything that's worthwhile for you, walk away. Learn to walk away. Simple as that. Be patient. All right, so we took a short and we hit basically break even. Today I had a little bit more of a mixed bias. I said I was bullish, but once we started to reach that top, I was originally just like back and forth. I was like, do I want to look for longs? You know, we're in deep. And I'm gonna show you guys one long that I would have took, could have, should have. You know, always that scenario in the back of your mind where basically, so I wrote this. So this is the long I would have took. See, I don't like this trade due to the fact that we're in such a deep premium and have no real confluence to support in this inversion. Fair value up this 1 minute. You see, we would have entered, market would have faced a little bit of drawdown, respected the BISI, and then eventually went up higher. I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't really following the system, if I'm being truly honest. Not really. Again, the confluences weren't really there. Same thing with this trade. Confluences weren't really there. I really have to like enrich something in the back of my mind. Like, okay, we don't see something we don't like, or like we're seeing something we like, but it just doesn't follow the system. We have to sit on our hands. And again, this is the reason why I moved my stop loss to break even so soon. In no real scenario, I would never move the stop loss to break even so soon, especially like being up only like 0.2 R, 0.3 R. One thing too, I need to start reading again. I need to start reading. You have to complete your non-negotiable task no matter what. And one talk that I wanted to have was being consistent, you know. When I ended this challenge last year around December towards the end of November. I ended it because I felt like I wasn't getting no progress, but I passed 2 XFAs. That's the furthest I've ever been in life, I won't lie, in terms of trading these funded accounts. And I was trading unfunded, you know, I was down, you know, was impatient, making silly mistakes, trading it incorrectly, not following the system. And those bad habits have led me to here, to now, you know, still being there. That's one thing about this challenge I hate, is being inconsistent. Last year I ended this challenge, I was inconsistent after the challenge ended. Like purpose, waking up, going into the charts every single day. I took a break, I was like, oh, PA is gonna be bad. You know, everybody's saying PA is gonna be bad. It just wasn't like that, you know? I was just being a follower, I guess you can say. And then I got inconsistent in terms of reviewing the strategy, meditating, my habits. Broke my habits, I was getting complacent. I thought, you know, it was the time to celebrate. It was a new year, it was Christmas, you know, let me take it easy now. I realized that was a mistake. And that's why I'm starting this challenge again, because this whole month I've realized, you know, like you have to be consistent in your habits, your mindset, your state of mind to get to that elevation point, to get to that next level, you know? That's one thing I'm realizing, bro. Like, this shit doesn't come easy. You have to pay a price, and that price is gonna be your dedication and your time to reaching your goals, you know? Like how much time you put into this shit, and then you'll get rewarded, you know? So, hey guys, so I just got done walking my dog, but today's date is still the same day. It's currently Monday. You know, road to 100K, the old videos, like EP 2 and 3. And after that, it was a little bit cringy, I won't lie. Just watching those old videos made me cringe a little bit. And again, I'm not going to do that this year. I really do plan on really completing this challenge, and if not, going above and beyond. And the reason for that is because consistency compounds, you know, like if I'm doing this every day, it's keeping me accountable. That's first and foremost. It's like a little journal, it's like a little notebook. If I ever want to go back and watch a certain part throughout the year, I'm gonna have these videos to rely on. All right, so we took a trade here. You can see we took longs, but I took a partial and I only made basically over a little bit over 1%. Could have made over like 1.5, but I took that partial. As you can see here, we took 5 and then we took 2 off. I don't know if you can see this line right here, and then we took 2 off right here. So that was pretty much really it. And then 617, and then let's go to this one right here to show you the balance. We're down still close to 1% on the leader account, and then eventually the follower account. We're down only, you know, break even basically. So yeah, that's pretty much really it. Again, this day I should have locked myself out, as you can see here on this main account, and then on this one we locked ourselves out. So it's because I realized, bro, so I'm gonna journal this trade, but again, just doing the lesson log for the week and then eventually the month is really a game changer, because again, you have to realize that you're gonna make mistakes, and if you're not reviewing your mistakes, if you're not really like analyzing it correctly, you're gonna keep repeating the same mistakes, and you're gonna be wondering, what am I doing wrong? Why am I doing this wrong? Why do I keep making the same mistake? You know, you really have to integrate it into your mind individually. You know, like what key tendencies do you see? Like, oh, this trade we didn't have this, and then this trade we didn't have this. Eventually that's gonna lead to like a thought process where like you're like, okay, majority of these trades have this common denominator. Find a solution, and eventually you start doing that. You know, you start finding solutions, you start finding trades that actually do have that denominator, and that's why data collection is so important, bro. I always preach this. Data collection is very important. Create a playbook. I did update my playbook also yesterday, and I might have to update it with this trade here, because this trade was a really good trade. A plus setup for sure. Just being patient, waiting. We took the trade around like 10 before, like 9:50 around there. All right, so I just got back from the gym. Here's my physique right now. All right, boom. Not bad. But I was reviewing my lesson log for the weekly lesson log for January week 2 and 3. I was doing that while I was at the gym, and I was also going over the playbook. So I was reviewing my playbook, but I kind of want to do that again. And then eventually after that, I want to go and read, and then eventually start studying my CRT methods playlist that I'm studying right now. Before all that, probably meditate and then journal and visualize, and then take a shower and all that. So yeah. Alright, so I've been studying the order flow video all day. I won't lie, as recently I've been watching the videos, I've been studying, I've been, you know, doing all these important things, but I feel like we're not progressing. That's kind of what it feels like. It feels very stale. It feels like I'm not really pursuing a harder challenge, you know. I'm trying to be very patient with myself in terms of like trading these accounts, trying to, you know, aim for, you know, a little payout. Eventually rinse and repeat and try to get better. But I do want to get better in terms of like mindset and consistency outside of the charts of my emotions. We're not really in control, but just being aware of them more, and like those thoughts and those behaviors that stem, and just working on that, you know, and just trying to be more aware of them, try to be more present, and try to have more self-control in terms of like, oh, if I lose, you know, I'm able to walk away. You know, I'm able to realize why I lost, or, you know, before I take a trade, having the, you know, self-control to realize, you know, is this really following the system, you know, like. Alright, so it's currently still Tuesday, Tomorrow we have FOMC, but I plan on going to sleep. Okay, so I have all the playlists here. So really the next video is or the next playlist is the Super Room, and then or GXT trades with TT, TT trades, GXT model. From there, try to again reflect inward, see what I can do better, more, and then refine it, and then eventually look outward for more information if we needed to. But if not, then just continue to refine the system, continue to refine myself. Alright, so I was shaving and I kind of messed up. You see that I trimmed a little bit too much here, when in reality, this side, look, this side has more than, it looks bad, I know. I'm gonna just leave it. It's gonna grow back anyway, so probably like in a couple of days, But today, again, FOMC, I'm about to go to the gym. I did meditate, I did pray already. When I'm at the gym, I'm actually gonna go for a walk with my dog right now. She's been trying to go for a walk for the longest, but I'm drinking water right now this morning. I did meditate, did pray, I did journal a little bit, and then now we're about to go for a walk, go to the gym, review the playbook, review the trading notes. If I'm at the gym, if not, then when I'm out the gym, I guess, review those too. Do you wanna go outside? That's where you wanna go. Gym fit, see the shoes, look at that. Sweats, regular shirt. That's the type of timing your boy on. That's the type of timing I'm on. You see I shaved, I messed it up, but we gonna get through it. The hair gonna grow back, don't worry. My father always told me, he said, don't worry. So I'm driving my car right now, but like, I'm thinking about all the blessings that I have in my life right now. Like driving a car that's like pretty decent, it's like a nice car. All right guys, so we're currently trading, or we haven't taken a trade yet, but for FOMC, it's 2:30, it's 2:40 right now, and there's still nothing really that after or during the press conference usually have like the real move happen after 14:30, but after 2:30, like usually there's like a manipulation, and then like 15 minutes later or 10 to 15 minutes, there's usually that manipulation, then the real expansion move happens. The market starts to move really heavy and volatile during that press conference whenever he says something. Or alright, so I'm about to be out of this trade. I'm a little emotional, I'm a little disappointed, honestly. Move up, stop me out, and then probably go back to ranging. I feel like we're probably gonna range. We had a 5-minute inversion, I took it, we swept the highs on NQ. That's why it's so important to have one trade a day, because again, it's very crucial to have that. It's part of the game. You have to realize that we do look really bullish, but I thought, that's my dilemma, because again, we had a higher time frame, 1 hour civvy being tapped up into. I thought, this 5-minute inversion could be a strong confluence to continue pushing us lower after this would have been like the manipulation lag. But again, the market does what it does, and my thoughts and my analysis could be wrong, and the market can do what it wants. The market is going to do what it wants. It doesn't care about your confluences. It doesn't really care, especially during like news events and volatility. Alright, so I just took my loss. Oh, it makes me angry, like I'm tired of losing, bro. I hate losing down. I hate being down. I hate being in drawdown, but it's just something that like, if we blow the accounts, we blow them. If we, get a payout, we get a payout, It all just depends on, one, are you following your system? Did you follow your system to get that payout, or did you follow your system to blow that account? 2, what did you learn? What mistakes would you want to avoid? What certain things did you, it's all a learning experience. Even when you, blow an account or when you get a payout, it's all a learning experience. All right, guys, so I just went for a walk with my dog, but quick little piss. After that, I thought about it. I was like, bro, I'm studying, I'm still learning, and I'm trying to become profitable. Why am I trying to become when I can just be profitable? I've already been at that stage of profitability, in terms of like following my rules, being disciplined, trading my system. And at the park, again, I had this very key, intense walk with my dog, with no headphones, no ICT playlist, none of this, and just listening to my own thoughts. All these things like are external reflections, like I'm trying to learn more. I'm trying to like study this concept. I'm trying to like think, like I'm studying. Why am I studying? I did some like reflection in my own in the back of my mind. I was like thinking like, why are you studying? Like you already have enough knowledge in trading. What is it in the back of your mind? Because again, you've told yourself, like you back tested your system. What is it? What is it in the back of your mind that is causing you to want more? Why do you want to study more when you have something that works? The system works. The system works. It's really profitable, but it's me in terms of making decisions, being more logical with my decisions, and just not being so emotional. And I was thinking about it, like, why are you being so emotional? Why are you so attached to these accounts? Why can't you think from a long-term perspective? Where has that went? Like I realized, you know, like, bro, my long-term perspective has shifted, you know, in terms of thinking like in months, you know, like, oh, if I give this like 6 months of just trading, being consistent, why am I not thinking like that anymore? Where did that go, you know? And I'm just thinking about like a payout. I'm just thinking about this. I'm just thinking about that, you know? And I'm thinking in a short-term basis, and I'm not giving myself enough time, and then request like 1% on one account, and on the other account, maybe 1.5. You know, and I was thinking about it, it's like, bro, why are you know, like, and then I reflected outward. I was like, bro, in terms of like trades, you can hit 3 good trades risking 1 to 2. And if not, one trade could really go and hit 1 to 4, 1 to 5 on a really good day. But that's like every other, you know, week. And I'm just thinking in the back of my mind, like, you're a sniper. You have to be really, really picky. Why did you allow yourself today to take a setup that wasn't, you know, A++? You know, so we just banked. We just banked on a short. Holy shit. This is OP as shit. This is what I was watching. I won't lie. I was watching this shit on YouTube. You can see this YouTube video, but we took this short here. Reason for this: 1, order flow. I was trading order flow here, and I was bearish the whole entire move. But look, I drew my level here from where the big sellers were resting. All right. So this is. I need to buy an order flow software soon, but this is where big, you know, majority of the big trades right here from the sellers were right there. Market absorbed it, pushed up higher. We waited for that change in state of delivery and the market to break through, and we entered. We had our stop loss above here. We didn't want to see the market trade up above it. Let me show you guys where. Hold on, this was the big trades level right here that I was looking at, and this is where the market went up, and then eventually it came back down, disrespected it, and then eventually flushed right through it. And once we had that flush, I realized, you know, the market is going to continue dumping, and that's where we enter our trade here. And you can see here, beautiful trade. Now the market is. I wish we would have caught more. I was trailing my stop loss, as you can see here. I was trailing my stop, and I was moving my take profit further and further. And then on this one we're up, on the other one we're still down $33, but basically break even, bro. Holy shit, bro. Order flow was crazy. Alright, so I just got done journaling the trade. Pretty much we're up for the week 2R. So I still have to go to the gym, I still have to read, I still have to meditate, and I still have to journal. We did journal for the trade and all that. I do want to do the hindsight trade for today without like the order flow trade. Start planning for next week, because again, this week's coming to an end, and then eventually start the lesson log for next month, starting that up early, just in case, you know, on the weekend we don't have time to do it, then we're, you know, a little bit ahead. All right, so I'm at the gym right now, but again, order flow is so OP. I can't wait to actually use order flow. I want to use order flow and incorporate deep trades, the software, or maybe Bookmap. I don't know. I'll probably have to wait and see and research more, but I think deep trades by far top notch, better platform. But using that with my regular concepts in the G7 trading model and the way I view the market from there, the ones that win actual, you know, Robbins Cups, that place on, you know, real competitions with real leaderboards, they are trading order flow, bro. Like, you have to get that through the back of your mind. These people are trading order flow. They have concepts. They have different strategies. Aggressive sellers and buyers versus passive sellers and buyers, and just trading aggressive zones, you know, like where our majority of the orders resting, and if it breaks the zone, the market should continue dumping, you know, and like having ICT concepts with a change in state of delivery or mitigation block, showing continuation, cracks and correlations, a lot of different things. I really need to like dwell in my mind. If I was to trade order flow and I was to use this software and incorporate it, how would I incorporate it into my system? Where could I see improvements, you know? How do you feel that you're gonna sit in the school?
Vamos pôr um little aqui.
Don't worry, I'll find a way. I'll find a way, man. So I was on Bookmap. My data was delayed. I was wondering, I was like, bro, I bought the data, I bought the Global Plus. It's been like 100 something plus, like 150, 130 around there for everything. I just bought CME data, I bought NQ and ES because that's all I'm trading. YM, I don't know. I don't really trade YM as much. I just realized it was so much of a big help in today's trading. I realized, bro, like there's so many more opportunities, so many more things I could have done. All right, so we took a trade in the chop and we got chopped up. Won't lie, it took a long, as soon as we broke above this level right here, and then eventually, again, this really isn't my type of trading model, if I'm being truly honest, but I was using Bookmap, and yeah, so once we had, you know, strong aggression of the absorption of the sellers here, market pushed up, came back down. I saw this was holding the 1 minute fair value up there, and then also you can see the market went sold, pushed up. I thought, you know, this is where more aggressive buyers are going to come in, but I was wrong. The aggression on the sellers, the passive sellers push price all the way back down for me to get stopped out below here, and then eventually you see the market just instantly rallied up. I'm gonna go see my girlfriend. She's gonna be my girlfriend soon, but I don't know if I should work out before. I was gonna go work out, but I think I'm gonna just take it easy today. I'm using ChatGPT though. That's the main topic that I wanted to talk about. You know, I'm thinking about it, and I really thought about it. I was like, bro, what am I gonna use Bookmap for? One, follow your system. Don't just trade order flow like with big bubbles, volume dots. Let me read it real quick because I have like a it says how not to use Bookmap. Very important. Trading every order flow flicker. Entering just because you see a big dot. Watching heat map more than price. Over trading because something is happening, and that is true. I'm entering just because I saw a big dot. I saw multiple big dots. And I was like, oh, it's time to enter. Yeah. You know, it's like being emotional, being a breakout type trader. And I realized, bro, like that is not me. But yesterday that was. That is true. One, you don't need to have every order flow indicator. That's first and foremost. Second, don't enter just because you see a big dot. So my level, my confirmation, my context behind that trade, nothing was really there in terms of like the 1 hour PDRA. But in terms of like daily 4 hour, it's a fake breakout filter, taps a level, triggers trader, snaps back. Bookmap lets you see resting liquidity sitting or above or below. So that is very, very crucial. Unless like the market is, you know, of course those pending orders is going to show you if the market is what? There's buyers or sellers, aggression in terms of like passiveness, and then eventually aggressive trades getting absorbed. So if the market is pushing down lower and the sellers are trying to what? Push price lower, but that candle range low is holding and the market is what? Getting swept back up, and we formed that inversion. Yeah, we're kind of like just at break even. Again, the goal was 4R, so we're just really gonna try to turn it up a notch, you know, and yeah, I'll catch you guys later in the next vlog, EP3. This is EP2 out.